In this video I'm going to talk about using web forms and how you can create various types of web forms using HTML. So specifically I'm going to focus on pages 81, 83 and 84, and I'll just give you an explanation of how to do that. Really, the tutorial is not necessary. All you truly have to do is open up Thimble and then go ahead and just input the HTML that appears on each of these pages and see what happens. It would be a nice idea to create an account with Thimble, because then you can save what you've done and come back and build on it later. And here is the basic HTML, which produces this sort of a site, and you are welcome to create your first form using the little piece of HTML on page 81. Now if you're new to HTML, remember HTML should always start and finish with the tag HTML, and you should put your content inside a body tag. I'd also recommend you look up this site called HTML Examples, and if you just want to improve your understanding of very basic HTML, it's an interesting place to look. For example, if you want to know how to make a link, you can just take some code from here and just copy this in and see what it does. For example, we'll put a link just under where it says welcome to Thimble. Okay, and of course we can change the text, link to newspaper, and we can change the URL just by typing in the URL of the particular paper. For example, here, replace that with the link I want. So that gives you some basic ideas. Something else, if you missed the lesson, something else we spoke about in class was how simple it is to embed a YouTube video in HTML. I don't know what this one is, but I'll just take this one. And then we can go to share, and then we can go to embed, and we get the HTML right there that we need to put the video in. And so once again we can put it just underneath where it says make something amazing. Okay, and you can even change the width and height very simply. So 300 for example, maybe 200, and just like that we've added a video. So there's just some basic HTML features. If it's of interest to you, feel free to explore this site some more and work out what else you can do. But for now we are focused on forms, so let's start by putting in a form. Now we can use the P tag to make a new paragraph, and in this paragraph down here I am going to add the form from page 81, and you'll notice it automatically puts the closing tag. And to check what you've done, you can click here and you can see it's just the early stages of creating a form. If you flick around to page 83, you can see you are introduced to how to make various other things like a password input box, and buttons where you click on one option, and checkboxes where you can choose more than one option, and forms. So you can actually copy and paste a lot of the same attributes as well. So I'll make a new paragraph down here, and in this paragraph I shall enter oh, it's already given me a label tag, because once you do the first tag it usually works out you need a closing tag as well. And then I'll just copy down here. There we go. And so let's see what this has done to our site. And this has entered a little username input box, as you can see. Now, to create the password box, you actually can simply take a lot of this code, which will save us time, because if you look at page 83, much of it is very similar. So, label 4. And we can put it over here. And so pretty much using the same structure, we've also created our password box. And for type, we are going to specify in the HTML that this is actually a password input box. Let's have a look. And so you can see now we have a username and a password box, just like that. We also need to make some buttons. Once again, we're going to use label 4 and input ID, just as we did again. So we can probably just copy this part and this part. Actually, I'll make a new paragraph to store this new. Okay, and we'll get rid of username because we're going to change that. And down here as well, because we're going to put something different. And we can actually copy this again and put it underneath, because this is for completing the buttons. So this label will be 4, and then over here we can type in mail and the ID. And type equals radio. This is the name of the little checkbox. And if we have a look at the results, I think there may be something wrong with this tag, but we'll double check. Oh yeah, so over here we have done something wrong, which is why our mailbox is showing the little radio checkbox, but for female it's showing a data entry box, so we've got to have another look at what's going wrong. I forgot to put this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you can see we've got two little checkboxes. The other feature I would like you to get used to for homework is putting in the, rather than putting in the radio box which lets you choose just one option, I'd like you to be able to put in the checkbox so you can pick multiple options. And you can see once again that's on the page. So we'll take the basic outline from here. We can take this one probably, and we can take this one, and we can duplicate this because we're going to use it again. Okay, and then we just replace these. and this is not going to be a radio box, it's going to be a checkbox. The difference being, of course, with a radio box you can only choose one option. With a checkbox you're allowed to choose many. Let's have a look at our results. Okay, you can see, but we've got to also correct this second box. So we've got another option which should be car. We can actually get rid of that because this one's got a lot more of the data I want. Then we've just got to change bus to car. And I think it should be ready. Okay, there we go. You can choose one or choose both, whereas with these ones we can only choose one. What else? The final section on page 83 is to do the submission form. We'll make a new paragraph once again for that. And we'll need input ID, name, type and value, so we'll take this. Submit. The type will be submit. And the value will be submit form. So the value is what's going to appear when we actually load it, as you'll see now. So submit form is the value, and we are defining the type of box here. Okay, so you now know how to do a password entry box, a username entry box. You need a little radio tag, checkbox, and of course a submit form. Now just the last little bit I set you as homework, that is to create a drop down menu, and that is on page 84, so I'll make one more paragraph. And you can see it's already created our closing selection tag as usual. And once again it's detected it needs the option closing tag. Now we just need to duplicate this. Wait, not like that. We need to duplicate the entire tag and just paste it a few more times, so we've got multiple options, but changing the key stage each time. And then when we load it, you can see now we've got our little drop down menu. So hopefully from this homework you've developed the ability to complete each of these elements in a form, because at the end of this unit you're going to have to create a form online, and when people input data into that form it should be saved on your personal homepage.